What's good? Sorry, cleared the throat. So I figured I would tackle the subject matter of VR, virtual reality, these headsets that seem to be all the craze lately, whether it's HTC, Oculus, or even the PlayStation VR. Um, Now, my videos would have you believe I'm anti motherfucking PlayStation. Not true. Not true. I just don't like a lot of shit they do. Like, for instance, PlayStation Portable. That was an amazing system. I love handheld consoles. I have a 3DS. I like the handheld market. It's a great market. There's not so much red tape in the handheld market. You get away with a lot of shit just because there's nobody really paying that much attention as to like people watching the core consoles. They're like, no, you can't do that because little kids might get their hands on it, and we can't have that because this is on the TV that the kiddies watch versus the handhelds, which people already think only children play, but nobody's really watching them because they think all that comes out on it is Mario Kart and Mario and maybe an occasional Zelda game. That's not the case. I mean, I have plenty of games here that say different. I mean, there's a Fatal Frame, there's a Xenoblade, there's a few Resident Evil games, there's a Smash Brothers, Bravely Default. There's multiple. Pardon me. There's a lot more than just Mario and Mario Kart. There's plenty of fighter games, plenty of adult games. But my thing is that PlayStation, Sony, gets into a market they know nothing about. They've done this now twice. They're doing it now, especially in a market as new as virtual reality. Virtual reality isn't even available to the general public. Unless you bought into the whole Kickstarter phase of the Oculus Rift, you don't have it. I mean, I've seen Boogie2988 have it. But, I mean, normal people who don't buy into the Kickstarter like myself don't own one of these things. People who don't have a beast of a computer like myself don't own these things. Not because we can't afford a beast of a computer, but because we just don't have those. You know what I mean? Why in the hell are you going to spend $2 to $3 grand on virtual reality? You see what I'm saying? Shit like that just doesn't make sense. The VR for PlayStation might be the cheapest. Possibly. I mean, it's $400 for the fucking headset. For the headset. Make this known. The headset is $400. Add in the camera. That's $65. Add in PlayStation Move. In case you're like me and you didn't buy into PlayStation 3 and anything that entails, that means Move, that's included. Move. Sorry, that's my television. Move is still somewhere in the price range of $30 to $40 to $50 if you buy it complete. Why in the hell won't this? I don't know why that won't pause. That's my PS View cable, because that's how I have cable. Anyway. Fuck it. I'm not even gonna worry about it right now. Anyway. So you got the Move, you gotta buy separate. I know they're coming out with a whole bundle, and the bundle is probably gonna run you about $600. Because think about it. You got the camera, you got the PlayStation Move, And they will charge you for each of those when they add it into the bundle. Don't think they won't. Okay? Think about this. You got Move and the camera added in on top of a $400 headgear. Okay? So you're looking at about $600 at Christmas time. Because it's going to come out October and this is going to be a Christmas gift. But now when you take that into consideration, it's the same price as the Oculus Rift. Now the Oculus Rift, however, is going to be up there in price because they've already said you got to have a beast of a computer to run the damn thing. So Oculus is $600 for the headpiece, and then you got to get a beast of a computer to run the damn thing. Same thing with HTC. It requires a beast. And this is gonna, hold on one second, let me work the damn thing, hold on. Okay, so, I mean, just take that into consideration. And it's, again, coming from Sony. It's not one of these companies, it's not like it's Nintendo. And I know, okay, yes, I have Nintendo 64 on a t-shirt, yes, I have Nintendo posters, the Legend of Zelda one, like, right here, fucking right here. Okay, I have Zelda stuff all over me, all over my room. I have Zelda 3DSs, I have Zelda games, I have a Wii U that I play. I'm a Nintendo fan, not a fanboy, but a fan. And that sounds kind of, you know, fanish to say that, but look at the running history here. Let's talk the running history of PlayStation. PlayStation is getting into a market that is really, really new. We're talking, it's so new, we don't know anything about it. I mean, we don't know shit about this fucking technology. And everyone who's talked about it so far says one thing: games are coming. They're not here, they're coming. And the only thing that's for sure right now is it's a great way to watch movies and apparently porn. Those are the two things they keep bringing up, is porn and movies. The two factors of VR. Okay? Games are coming, but not yet. And you gotta have a beast of a computer. Don't know why. Don't know why your current computer is just not up to par. But you gotta have a beast of a computer. On Sony's end, they look like they're coming out with a new PlayStation 4, 4.5, 4K, whatever the fuck, to run VR, because that's the whole reason this has come out. But now it's, you know, it's an issue now. It's a thing. It's an actual thing that the VR is probably not going to be even all close to even on par with the PS4 we currently own. I'm just telling you what has been said around the rumor world and everything like that. So you gotta have the PS4, you gotta have the PlayStation Move for it to function in the way of it not getting on your fucking nerves. It will work with the PlayStation 4 controller, but apparently it's a pain in the ass unless you have Move. You gotta have the camera, PlayStation Move, and a PS4 for it to work. However, I hear the PlayStation 4.5 is apparently going to be the one where it's going to work the way they want it to work. If 4.5 or 4K or whatever the fuck they're calling it releases. If. You see what I'm saying? That's an if factor. But looking at Sony's running history, Sony got into the running history with handhelds. And that's a good market. Very good market. It's been around since, I want to say, late 80s with the Game Boy. Nintendo pretty much invented it. I mean, they had the Game Boy, Sega had the Game Gear, Sega went under, Game Gear is no longer here. People still have it. Don't know why. I mean, it eats up 6 batteries in like 3.5, 4 hours. But, I mean, Nintendo has been very good with their handhelds. It's beat out the core consoles that connect to a TV on more than one occasion in more than 1 month. They're a good thing. Sony's had 2 of them for 2 generations now and has shown them piss poor support. Now Sony wants to jump into a market that is so fresh with no knowledge of nothing and try to be a competitor, knowing Sony has pissed away at the handheld market. See what I'm saying here? It's not that I have zero faith in them. It's that I'm running off of what I've seen from them. You see what I'm saying? It's their running history. It's not that I'm saying it's gonna happen. It's just when I saw the PlayStation Vita, I thought to myself, the first thing I thought to myself was, this is gonna be a failure because of the way they treated their PlayStation Portable. It wasn't that it was a horrible system. It was a PlayStation 2 that you could take with you. A great idea. A very good system. A PlayStation 2 that you could take with you. Who the fuck wouldn't want that? But the people at Sony, the PlayStation part of Sony, supported it for a small amount of time. PlayStation 3 came out and they forgot about it. You see what I'm saying? And then when the PlayStation 3 and all the issues that system had started coming to the light and people started, bitching about it more, instead of them focusing on that, they said, well, how can we get their attention away from that? And what can we do? They were like, well, we have a handheld. What do we do? Why not focus on that? And they were like, God of War, Kingdom Hearts, Metal Gear Solid. And they started just, shoveling games out of people. And people were like, but we care more about this system over here because you've let this system die for over a year before you started paying it any attention anymore, because we had it during the PS2 era before the PS3. And again, they did it with the Vita. The Vita was out and people were excited for it. They were like, yay, Vita, yay, Vita. And people went out and bought it, sure. And I've had 2 of them. And then the support for it went from like here to overnight just dead. It was dead in the water. People were like, what the fuck happened, Sony? And Sony's like, we have a handheld? What do you mean? And people were like, you have a fucking handheld, Sony. What are you doing? And that's why myself, I'm questioning their move with the VR. That's why. It's not that I don't think virtual reality is going to take off. I'm questioning their actual loyalty to the customers who go out and spend the money on it, because their running history with anything that's not their core console that you sit up and plug into your television and actually do this little number with is just laughable. It's seriously laughable and lackluster. And like, they tell you, oh, it's going to be supported at the very beginning, and then a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years down the road, they fucking flat out forget about it. They do. They flat out forget about you and act like, oh, you didn't make an investment in that. No, nobody made an investment in that. You have one? Why? Nobody else does. Hell, nobody in our staff room has one of those. Why do you have it? That's how they treat you when it comes to anything that's not the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, or the PlayStation 4. And that's why I personally don't see why investing into anything VR is worth it right now. Like, I'm not going to say it's a guaranteed miss, because it might not be. But when it comes to the Sony part of it, they've really got to do some, making up. They really missed opportunity after opportunity. And here we come again, opportunity. But I don't think it's going to be a hit. I don't think it's going to catch. Just from the Sony part of it, it's cheaper. But they've struck out twice when it came to the other operations. And I think it's going to happen again. Just because they've struck out on the handheld market. And the handheld market lasted from 89 all the way up to now. And they just can't make it work because they refuse to just support it. If they would just support it, they would see money coming in from it. But they refuse to support it. Not that there's not fans of it. Hell, I got friends that have a PS Vita, but they don't have any fucking games. oh, well, you can get games on other systems downloaded to it. Nobody buys a fucking 3DS to play Nintendo games on. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's like, let me buy the newest handheld console from Nintendo to play my Super Nintendo games on. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's like, let me buy the new 3DS XL to play fucking my DSi games on. I want to play Resident Evil DS on the new 3DS XL. Nobody's doing that. The reason the Nintendo 3DS is doing so well is because they keep coming out with IP. It's because they keep coming out with original IP and remakes. And people actually want to play the remakes. And they want to play the original IP. Even if it sucks. Even still, that's the reason it's doing so good. It's because Nintendo supports their handhelds. Nintendo supports their handhelds probably more than they support their core systems. But, I mean, that's the reason why. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying the VR is going to suck. I'm not saying the VR is going to not be a hit. I'm saying that Sony has to really, really prove themselves. That's what I'm saying. It's possible that it could be a huge, huge hit. But when it comes to Sony and them and the way they handle supporting something that is not a core console that you hook up to the television, the past 2 times they've done this has been a straight up miss. PSP, PS Vita, both of them bitches struck out, and the fault of it is Sony's. It is not the customer. The customer didn't want it. Bullshit. The customer base is there. People want the handheld market. Sony, you just didn't support it. And I have a feeling your PlayStation VR thing is going to be the same exact fucking thing, because you are getting into a market that is way too fucking new. Nobody knows what's going to happen in this VR thing. Nobody. And you're like, let's jump in before we know anything else about it. That's my opinion over the whole VR thing. What are yours, man? Leave a comment down in the comment section. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And I'll see y'all next time, man. As always, it's your boy. This has been Just a Thought Productions. And as always, man, deuces.